and welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. Self-care. There may be a message for your healing journey, soul's evolution, transformation, and or simply information. Today, I would like to talk about the devastating effects of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, and where it lies in your body. So, the abuse cycle is very vast and arrayed. It often goes through four main stages: tension in the home, unpredictable events, or things of rage, incidents that may happen, and apologies or lack thereof, reconciliation, and then calmness. The abusive behaviors may escalate from cycle to cycle, day to day, hour to hour, moment to moment. It's typically not an isolated incident, especially when there's any addictions involved. The emotional abuse can be extremely overprotective or overindulgence, a complete neglect, rage, rejection, abandonment, and of course, a lot of other powers of control if you look at domestic abuse. And if you are in the care of a battered women's home, they'll share that with you. And maybe if things have gotten too extreme and out of control, you may need an order of protection in place. And sometimes the courts can order your abuser maybe some classes that they can take to unpack why they're doing these things, or an alcohol program, or abusive situations, especially programs for yourself to heal. And I recommend you find a safe place and stay there until you can heal. If you have a family that you need to care for, be responsible for, work within the school system for support. And there's a lot of other support out there, but definitely get an order in place if you feel unsafe, and make sure everything, your personal affairs are in order in case it does follow suit with a divorce, so that you are safe and your children and or your belongings. So the power and control wheel was developed by the Domestic Abuse Intervention Center, kind of a diagram of different stages of abuse. Sometimes it starts off as verbal or physical. Sometimes the domestic violence turns into sexual violence, a lot of psychological or emotional abuse, torment. There's a lot of different things that can correlate to feeling abused, neglected, financial abuse, body morphing, anything classified as abuse if you're feeling unsafe, slavery, discrimination, and or just simply holding you hostage and away from your family. Any harmful behaviors by anyone that manipulates you or exploits you, including anything that is less than desired and anything that you've said no to. The abuser gains your trust first, but then with their controlling behavior, they may become jealous, possessive, aggressive, and then blame you. Maybe they experienced abuse in their childhood and you shared that, or maybe you have it in common. It's still not okay in an adult relationship then to act on it, and especially if it's against your own children or theirs, and you've witnessed it, and or animals. So there's lots of ways that people abuse, and narcissistic abuse. It a lot of gaslighting, isolating you from loved ones, insulting language, yelling, shifting the blame, extreme jealous, and unpredictable rage and anger. And if you have tried to advocate for yourself, or maybe the neighbors called the officials and they came over, just be truthful, answer the questions, and find a safe place and a safe plan. And then consult maybe a domestic abuse service center or a reputable attorney that could advocate for you, that is well versed in these things, not a general attorney. They must be well versed in these type of manipulative tactics and abuse, because this is something very significant. And whoever writes the order needs truth and facts. And of course, if you have an officer involved, they may send somebody out, take pictures of you and your story. And then everybody should be on the same page. And then it goes to the justice system, who should then honor the order. And your person should follow it. But if they don't, make sure you log the facts and report it, and or work with your attorney and take advice. Any type of emotional abuse where the abuser only cares about themselves and uses words, actions to manipulate you or anybody else in an emotional state to trigger you, harm you, take pictures of you, video you against your will is abuse. Gaslighting, of course, is techniques undermining a person's perception and or reality. They like to project things and make you look crazy, but with technology these days, they can distort anything, back anything up, and change any voicemails and drop them into yours. So there's a lot of tricky tactics from IT specialists or a lot of things on the web that they do to distort even the legal system. And if they are in the dark arts, they'll make sure to do dark magic, black magic, voodoo, witchcraft, and sacrifices, even against the justice system, to make sure things go in their way. And of course, they lawyer up. Normally, people need one attorney that's solid and not 10. But in my case and in my past, when somebody has 10 attorneys, you probably figure they got a problem. So there's a lot of tension building phase, acute, crisis, or calm honeymoon phase. Some of these phases actually aren't even valid. They just say one thing and you know another. So I would just definitely check into a safeguard place for yourself to go. If you feel like you've been violated in any which way, shape, or form, tell the facts to the person writing your order. Typically, it is a female if you are a female, so you feel safe. And if you have domestic abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, financial or slavery, discrimination, and or that you were forced to quit your job, these are all tactics so they can control you because they want you to be totally codependent on them. So you have no resources to the outside world or to get away from them. So it's modern slavery. So they also like you to cut off all contact, ignore people or places and things that you like to do, and or even your family and friends. Make sure you check your own phone to see who they've blocked on your phone or deleted. If they back up your phone to their computer, they have access to 100% of everything, and they use that to exploit you at all costs. So just make sure you are taking care of yourself and this abuse doesn't continue. Make sure that you are aware that you have your rights, and if you say no, no means no. Sexual violence can definitely have psychological, emotional, and physical effects if you are a survivor of it. Incest or rape is not okay. You need to talk about it and just make sure if you feel depressed, a lot of people do because they take it on and say, I deserve this, or your abuser, your perpetrator told you you deserve this. You do not. And I'm sorry if this ever happened to you. It's not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. If you're having flashbacks, post traumatic stress from any of these, or maybe your children or somebody you know, if they've self harmed themselves, or maybe they've started to abuse any substances, maybe they have some disassociation or a lot of panic attacks. A lot of times, if people were violated at a young age, you may have eating disorders, or maybe pull their hair out of their eyebrows or arms, or maybe have sleep problems. Sometimes at a young age, when your mind doesn't, your brain hasn't developed, and they contemplate different things to harm themselves. So adult survivors of child sexual abuse may still have the remnants of that, especially when you have children, you're female, you have a daughter, it might trigger you as well. So these are all trauma to your body, mind, and soul that need to be, it will come up definitely when least expected. So what I have to say to you is you are strong, You are worthy and you are a beautiful human being and soul that deserves love and care. And to release this trauma, shame, fear, guilt, sorrow back to your heart center so you can reclaim yourself, body, mind, and soul, and feel whole because you are. This happened to you, but it doesn't mean it has to end there. It's not going to end you. The devastation be released from your body, mind, and soul. Energetic pings, shamanic healing, Reiki healing, or energy healing can transmute it back to your heart center, back to your childlike self, so you can feel loved. Love yourself unconditionally and no wavering. And whoever you're with will understand. Talk about it. It's okay to talk about it. It feels dirty. Sometimes people say, I feel so dirty. That's because somebody filthy hurt you, and that's not okay. And if it happened to them and they're doing it to others now, they need to heal as well. So we need to turn it over to a higher source, God, or whoever you believe in. It's hope for your healing journey, faith over fear, and you take care of you because you matter. Hope this helps today. And remember, take care of you and somebody else. Namaste.